Hey guys, so this is the first part of the how to start an online business with zero to little capital series, okay? And there will be 3 more parts of this series, so we will put the link down below so you can check out the other parts. So I just want to start off with this. Never has it been easier to start an online business these days. And the best part is it's super cheap. And when you think in terms of about $250, but that's if you know how to do it the right way. So this guide will be split up into 4 different videos, podcast series and articles covering the different types of online businesses that you can start today with zero to little capital. So before I begin, I just want to say that it means a lot to me that you are watching this video or listening to this podcast. So in the first chapter, I want to share a little bit of what pushed me to start doing this, start recording myself talking about my journey, right? So this is a journey that I started since 2015 and it's still ongoing. And at the time of recording this, I've created multiple online companies from scratch in the last few years, some of which has achieved 7 figures in annual revenue with only a startup capital of $300. Can you believe it, guys? So the online companies that I still run now specialize, in drop shipping, selling physical products, and also digital products like info products. So you might have heard of some of them, but let's leave that out for later. So you see, guys, my life hasn't always been like this. I was born to a middle income, Asian family in Kuala Lumpur with typical tiger parents, and they always pushed me to study harder, stuff like get good grades and also a scholarship, which I did for college, get a good job, and then retire at 60. And that's the path that I was on for the first 21 years of my life. But I soon discovered it wasn't the life that I wanted. So back in 2015, I was this wide-eyed 24-year-old who spent 3 years of his life working a desk job in a well-known consumer goods company in KL, Malaysia. And I was working as a brand marketer for about $600 a month in salary. Pathetic, I know. But when I was still working my day job, I experimented selling stuff online during after work hours, which was 2 to 3 hours a day before I went to bed. So during my spell of working a full-time job, I had spent about 14 hours on average a day sitting on my desk and in meetings. But I knew deep down that I was not put on this freaking earth to be slaving away like this. And I always looked out for some form of salvation, right? So I started attending online marketing workshops and reading books, and I even paid for a course about affiliate marketing that cost me about $2,000 at that time to get my feet wet in making money online. So some of you might think that it's crazy to be spending that much on a course, especially if I'm only earning $600 a month, right? But hear me out. So even though the course's teachings weren't super exceptional, it exposed me to the world of making money online through building sustainable, automated online businesses. And that was my start. So after attending the workshop, and I was really excited to implement my learnings, and my first stint in online businesses or making money online was actually affiliate marketing with ClickBank. So I started a blog on WordPress. I had no idea how to do this at that time. I just experimented and failed a lot, right? And I wrote a review blog post about this product called the Venus Factor. And this is a weight loss program targeted at women. And I wrote a 1,000-word blog post talking about the product, like what does it do for you, what kind of stuff can you learn. And 1 month later, I actually got my first sale, and it was from America. So let's be honest, it wasn't easy, but starting a website can be an extremely daunting task, especially if you have no idea what you're doing, right? But let me tell you this, the first sale that you make online will be one of the best feelings in your life if you haven't already. It's so good that I believe it will change your life, because it did change mine. So I didn't have any experience when I first started, but I had the, just screw it, do it anyway attitude. And I attribute a lot of my success to my to the willingness to experiment, to fail, and to be completely frank, I'm sort of numb from making online sales now since I get 30 to 50 orders per day on my various online businesses, and most of them happen when I'm asleep, most of the time anyways. So don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not trying to be cocky or I'm not trying to brag when I say this, because the point that I'm trying to make here is that taking the first step and seeing the result for the first time will create a paradigm shift in your thinking, because once you go online, I don't think you'll ever go back. So you might be questioning, why am I saying this? Because I believe that selling online is actually an addictive and exhilarating process, especially in the beginning, and it makes you crave for more. Wouldn't you want to replicate your success after making your first ever sale online? Because it's possible. You've seen it's possible. So most importantly, it will help you change the way you think about making a living for yourself, and hopefully drive you to build, better, bigger, and more profitable online businesses. So if you're watching this or listening to this, you could be flipping burgers for a living. You could be a self-employed entrepreneur doing something that you really love. You could be a student working part-time jobs to earn extra pocket money. And you could even be a stay-at-home parent that's also doing, part-time babysitting to earn some income. Or you could be a highly positioned, someone like a CEO in a huge company getting a 7-figure paycheck. But at the end of the day, guys, you're actually trading your time for money. So this brings me down to one of the 2 points of why every business needs to be online now. If you followed me previously, you'll know that I'm a sucker for automation that can separate my earnings from the time that I put into the business. So I don't have to put in an hour to earn an hourly wage, for example. So this was the reason number 1 why I dedicate a lot of my energy and time in the beginning, especially towards building online businesses. Because I believe that online businesses are the easiest and cheapest to get automation running. Only when you can free up your time from meaningless tasks, like freaking, I don't know, stuff like budget tracking or accounting or like inventory tracking, right? Like these things are very important and crucial to generating revenue, but if you're spending your time on all these things, you can't focus on growing your business. And I hope I got my point across there. So another reason why I think every business needs to be online now is the potential that online businesses bring. If you're selling a product that is exportable or can be delivered over the internet, like this video or podcast, you can reach out to billions and billions of people with just one recording, which is what founders should be focusing their energy on. The ability to scale for an online business is one of the key factors why people like Amazon are eclipsing people like Walmart or Target, right? So there's a reason why newspapers are getting replaced by blogs, why TV is getting replaced by YouTube, and how the traditional FM radio is getting, replaced by podcasts, right? So the internet is a fantastic connector and supplier of products, services, and information. And the internet has already taken over the world. And I just want to say that the internet is here to stay whether you like it or not. So there's this quote by Bill Gates that I really, really like, and I think it's super true, right? If your business is not online, then you won't have a business to run in a few years. So before I get carried away, let's go back to my journey. A few months later on, I built a dropshipping online business focused on dropshipping Korean fashion clothing, targeting at urban females who were into K-pop and K-drama, that sort of stuff. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff actually, and this was my first time experimenting with Facebook's advertising platform. I was still working my full-time job at this time, and I was primarily working on this dropshipping site at night. So I'll admit, I got very distracted at work during this period of time, and I barely slept. So I was just learning as I go. I built the website up myself with a relatively small time e-commerce store builder, and stuff like Shopify wasn't available at that time, and I probably couldn't afford to pay for it anyways. So my work performance suffered, and I got warning letters after warning letters, and as a result, I stopped pursuing the dropshipping store even though it was making me about $200 a month. So deep down, I still knew that building online businesses was my true calling. So after one more year of slaving away in the corporate environment, I decided, enough is enough. I quit my job after I landed a scholarship in a coding bootcamp in Malaysia because I thought I needed to upskill myself, to build my own online business. I was always afraid of coding, you see, so I thought that it would be a good test out of my character, and turns out I almost never code these days, even though my business is completely online. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to debunk a myth that you need to be a programmer to start building an online business. Stop trying to be like the next Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. If you're good at something, you can just build something online. There are so many free tools and platforms out there that can help you out. So after graduating from this bootcamp, I decided to launch an online vape business because it was the shit back then, right? And I've been vaping for about 3 to 4 years prior to that. So I thought, just why not? So fast forward 4 years later, my company currently rents a 5,000 square feet building. We currently employ 7 full-time staff and about 10 to 15 freelancers that help us out in various aspects of the business as and when we need them. And the bulk of them work on marketing and work that requires creativity. So this is the team that I've built that powers 3 different online businesses. So number 1, I run a chakra healing jewelry dropshipping business. It's called Zena Gems. And number 2, we also run a vape e-commerce store. It's called Vape Club, and also an online school for digital skills Mula Boss started. And this started, end 2018. And it's been rebranded to HUSTLR now, as you can see. We're called HUSTLR these days. So my current company is split into 2 divisions, the physical goods division and also the digital division. The physical goods division is manned by, 2 warehousing staff and a combination of many cloud automation system. Like, for example, we have an e-commerce store system, we've got an inventory management system, and we've got various marketing automation systems. So I can further break down the physical goods division to 2 different types of businesses. Number 1, drop shipping and also self-fulfillment. So the drop shipping part of the business is extremely light on workload and time. The entire marketing, sales, fulfillment process is completely automated with about 1 hour of time commitment per week on customer service, and I don't even do that myself. But Vape Club, on the other hand, is more profitable, but is way more labor intensive. It requires 2 full-time team members to get the warehousing, procurement, and fulfillment done. And the rest of the team also spreads their workload. Like, I think they work 30%, they spend 30% of the time on Vape Club, right? So even though 90% of the work has been delegated to systems, there's still about 10% of work that has to be done manually, which I'm honestly not too happy about. And I'm always looking for ways to automate tasks that require labor input, because humans are usually the hardest variable in business for new entrepreneurs to deal with. So dear team members, if you're listening to this, I love you guys, but humans are pretty hard to deal with. I'm pretty sure you can understand that, right? So that aside, let's get back to the topic. So the digital division, on the other hand, is primarily powered by freelancers, systems like Teachable, and also content generation processes that are manned by my awesome team members. And I have about 15 freelancers processing content for this division. But to be completely honest, this is my favorite part of the business. But even though it's still not as profitable as Vape Club or the dropshipping stores, right? But I think, that's what I really like doing, so it doesn't really matter. And I believe in helping people, and that's why I started a company. So to put this back into context, all these were fruits born from an initial capital of $300 US. So can you see now how starting an online business have completely changed my life? And based on my recent success, a lot of my friends and family has been asking me this question. So I'm pretty sure this is one of the burning questions. They always ask me, am I good enough to start an online business? Right? So let me first tell you this. If you're thinking I was born into some crazy rich Asian sort of family, or that I've had financial support from my family members when I was just starting out, you are wrong, okay? Because the startup capital and the courses I've attended were funded with my own savings. I put in my hard work in the beginning, and it's super simple. If you don't have the money, just put in more of your time and sweat. I believe there's no fast way to make $1 million unless you're willing to work hard for it, or you have a ton of capital. If you don't have capital, you better be willing to work hard for it. Okay, I'm not trying to pour cold water and kill your dream, but you have to be realistic. You have to know that starting an online business is the same as starting any other business. It just has more advantages. If it's a business that you want to grow, you better be willing to put in your time and sweat, right? So a lot of people come and tell me as well, I don't have enough capital, I don't think. And my parents used to stop me as well. They said, okay, Jeremy, you don't have money. Why are you taking such a huge risk? But to me, not having enough capital is the poorest excuse you can give yourself from not taking action. So in my first year of starting up, I paid myself an extremely modest salary just to pay my bills and to live, to have a minimal lifestyle, right? So my company is actually the product of constant reinvestment of profits and the principle of delayed gratification. If you want to spend every single dollar that you earn online, I guarantee that you're going to be stuck doing everything yourself, and you're not going to build a very successful online business, right? So another common excuse I hear people say is, now is not the time, I'm not ready, the market is bad, the economy is bad. But the truth is, you'll never be ready. There will never be a perfect time. If you think that all successful businesses are built while waiting for all the stars to align, think again, okay? Because with pure logic this time, because there's no such thing as perfect timing. So one main regret that I have personally is that I did not start my entrepreneurship journey sooner, right? So this is another cool, inspiring Chinese proverb that I take into heart quite dearly. And it goes something like this. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. So if you're doubting yourself, or you hear a little voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, I'm telling you that you're good enough to do whatever you want to do. You need to remove all the self-limiting beliefs that you may have, and know that the human brain is extremely powerful, and you can harness it to achieve greater heights of success. So one hack that I do is, every morning I go to a mirror, I look myself in the eye and tell myself that I'm good enough. So I hope that, go ahead and try that out and see what kind of impact that has on you. It works for me, it might not work for you. I just feel obliged that I have to share it, right? Because at the end of the day, everything starts with you. If you don't want to do something, or you feel like you're not good enough to do something, no amount of podcasts, blog posts, or YouTube videos will ever be enough to spark a change in you. I won't lie, there are still periods where I feel I'm not good enough, but I never let it stop myself from succeeding, and you shouldn't let that stop you as well, okay? So before I end this video, I just want to summarize everything and have, and give you guys something actionable to take away, right? So number one, I think it's totally possible to get rich quick, but it's not going to be easy. Okay, if you think if getting rich is easy, everyone would be rich, right? So you need to be willing to do things that other people are not willing to do, right? And number two, I kind of repeated that, but if you're willing to do what most people don't want to do, you're going to be rich. And number three, don't create a job for yourself that disguises itself as a business. I see a lot of friends and family, they tell me, okay, I'm leaving, I'm gonna start my own company, and they think that's starting a business. Well, yes, on a traditional sense, but they end up working harder and longer hours than when they were at their full-time job, for example. So that's a job disguised as a business. So you want to make your business sellable, automate tons of things so that you can actually live a better life, right? So that's it for this video. And in the next video in this series, and podcast in this series, I will be sharing some methods on how you can start an affiliate marketing business with zero to little capital upfront. So this series is a breakdown of my personal experience with online businesses, and it's sequenced in a chronological order. So I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Bye.